Well, folks, it's a Saturday. Kind of a sad day a little bit. Gonna take old Stella out here for one last ride. I'll probably do about a 100-mile loop. She's been a good girl, but unfortunately, we're looking for something a little bit bigger. That's a little more comfortable, especially in the back for Andy to ride on. So, if all goes well, Monday or Tuesday, we'll be trading this one. We're trading it in for a new to me K1200. That'd be the LT. So that's the touring bike. It's got the full trunk, the full saddlebags, and much better space and comfortable seat for Andy. So we'll see how that goes. I'll give you some footage as I ride here, and again, if all goes well, unfortunately, this will be the last ride with Stella. She's been a great bike. I've enjoyed it. I just need something a little bit bigger for longer trips. So stick around, and we'll see you out there. So I know I haven't had this bike, this BMW R1100, which I have named Stella since the first time I got her. I've had her. I think I got her last summer. Yeah, it might have been either late spring or early summer. Again, I had traded in and I traded my KLR that I've had. I don't think I've ever done any videos. I hadn't gotten back into producing videos when I had the KLR or the Triumph or any of those other bikes. It wasn't until hanging out with Roger and Patrick and Dave that I got back into trying to record some of these trips that we take, mostly for memory for myself and my family, for them to see what we're doing down here. But I kind of started doing mostly, I think, with the Pan America, which I still have and I will continue to have because I do love that bike despite its occasional gremlins. I'm going to stick with that bike for a while because it is a good all-around adventure bike. A little on the heavy side, but for what I need it for and the stuff that I do, it's more than capable, and I'm very happy with it. But again, when I bought this bike, or traded in and got this bike, I was looking for something more friendly for two-up riding. Andy and I used to ride a lot. If you look at some of my early videos, we would go on trips quite a bit. We've been through Canada, all the way up through Nova Scotia, did the Cabot Trail. We also did, when we lived in Virginia, we did the entire parkway, started up in Afton, or Waynesboro, I think it was Waynesboro, Virginia, and then we rode the whole 470 miles or whatever it is to the end. We did it over the course of 3 days on the parkway, and then we spent time around Robbinsville, and we did the Tail of the Dragon, which was interesting for both of us on a large bagger. But so we did that together, and we did some other trips here and there. But then life happened. I ended up getting rid of the large touring bike just because I wasn't really using it as much, and I thought it was a lot of bike just for me, just to ride around by myself on occasional day trips. So I sold that and ended up with the Pan America. Well, Andy has been with me out on the Pan America, but the Pan America at best is a single person bike for sure. It's just not very comfortable. So we've done shorter trips with it, just day stuff out and back, maybe a couple hours here and there total. But after about 20 or 30 minutes, both of our backsides were sore, so we had to stop and stretch. And it's just not a very comfortable bike for two-up riding. So I had the KLR that I had purchased, and then I had other bikes. So looking around on places like Facebook Marketplace, I always look to see, if people are looking for specific bikes or if they have any desires, and sometimes I'll trade outright. Usually I try to find something in the same price range, and then I reach out to them and see if what I have meets their needs and what they have meets my needs. And it worked out that the gentleman that I bought this, or got this bike from, he was looking for a KLR, and I was looking for a sport touring bike that would be a little more comfortable for us. So that was last year, as I said, probably somewhere in the summertime, late spring, early summer. And I rode quite a bit with it. The first big trip I did with it was a few months ago, and that was with Roger and Patrick. We went down to LJ, and I think we went through Suches and then Helen, Georgia. Beautiful area, great roads. So we ended up doing that, riding that, and it was great. This bike did fantastic. And Andy and I have been out on this a little bit, not as much as I'd like, but you know, we're both very busy with our lives here. So recently I was browsing the web, the Facebook marketplace again, and I saw a gentleman that I think he's getting up there in age. I don't know exactly how old he is, but I'm pretty sure he's a few years older than me. But he was looking for another bike, a lighter bike. So he was either going to sell his bike outright, or he was looking to trade for a sport touring bike. You know? So he has a 2000, it's a BMW K1200 LT. Is BMW's flagship. That's their competition with the Goldwing. Right? That's the one with all the bells and whistles, the cruise control, heated grips and seats, and the recliner on the back for mama. But so I reached out to him, and I sent him pictures of my bike and the history and everything, and he fell in love with this. Hasn't seen it yet, but he fell in love with this bike through the pictures and the video that I sent. And this is exactly what he's looking for, something a little lighter, that's not as top heavy, and that he can still get out there and ride and enjoy. The nice thing about his bike, it's been well maintained, garage kept. It still looks like it's in immaculate condition, and I'll have video coming out soon after I go and pick it up. But his bike, I think, only has 13,000 original miles. So it was one of those, probably just a weekend cruise out and back. I don't think he did any long trips on it. And if he did, he certainly didn't put a lot of miles on it. But the important thing is it's been maintained, and it's still, from what I see, it's in tremendous shape. So he's anxious to see this bike, and I'm anxious to see his and give it a try. I'm not new to big bikes because the Harley Davidsons, the Ultra Limited, and the Ultra Classics, the Electra Glides, those were all heavy bikes. They're all pushing the 900 plus range, and then you add a full tank of fuel and throw some equipment on the back. So you pack up the panniers and put a passenger on the back, and now you're well over the 1,000 range. So again, I'm not new to big bikes. And I'm looking forward to something that I personally could go longer trips on and see how it goes. And most importantly is Annie. I want Annie to enjoy riding again, spend more time together outside, and enjoying this beautiful area that we live in. And go hopefully on longer trips. I mean, a favorite trip I've ever done was when we went to Canada and up through Nova Scotia. And she rode with me despite the rain and the heat that we experienced. She stuck right in it, and I think we both had a great time. So I'm really looking forward to hopefully repeating some of that. One of my favorite things in the world is riding with her and getting out and enjoying the outside. This big K1200 is I'm hopefully going to be the answer to Annie and I riding together again on longer trips. Like, we could pack for a weekend, ride down into Georgia, taking the back roads. Not a huge fan of highways. We'll do them when we have to, but otherwise this is the kind of riding we'll do. So we will, my plan is to hopefully now we'll take more weekend trips and even longer. Take some vacations and pack up the bike. It's got plenty. It'll have plenty of storage between the top trunk and the side trunks. It's getting back to how it was when we had the Harley Davidson, the Ultra Classic and the Electric Glide. So that was great. I mean, we said we loaded up clothing. Each of us got one of the side saddlebags to put our clothes and things in. The top case, we put incidentals, toiletries, and things like that, and we just went. And sometimes we didn't care. But back when we were riding the Harley Davidson, Annie and I were both, obviously we're still working, but the kids were at home. So a lot of our travel plans had to rotate around either the kids' school schedule or our ability to find somebody to take care of the kids, either have them stay with my parents while we went, or bring them along, which is what we did. Well, we brought Ryan. Haley was old enough. She was able to stay home and take care of the dogs. And that's another thing. We had dogs, and it was sometimes to have the dogs put in a kennel cost as much as an entire vacation. I mean, that's my plan. I'm hoping to be able to, again, take Annie and I on a trip, do some weekend stuff, maybe with Roger and his wife Kay. We could do some weekend stuff, take a trip. I'm planning on going to South Dakota this year in the fall. It's during my birthday week. So originally I wanted, the plan was to have Annie come. We were going to trailer the bike out there, and but unfortunately she's limited like the rest of us on her vacation time for work. So she's not going to be able to take that amount of time off. So talking with my wife, she said, no, you do it. You go. You have a good time. And I will. I mean, I'm disappointed. I really want her to go. But a trip like that, it's 1,600 to 1,700 miles one way. So for me to go out there and... oh, I guess it is a Harley. So for me to go out there and... it's going to take me 3 days. 3 solid days of driving in the truck, trailering the bike, or bikes, depending on what I take. 3 solid days out, 3 solid days back. That's 6 lost days of nothing but travel. And then the remainder is going to be 4 days at TimFest. And I don't know if this is the 6th or 7th, but every year TimFest, which started out as just a meetup for some different riders, has now grown, and I think exponentially. I think every year it gets bigger and bigger. So it's still in its infancy, but I would imagine within the next 5 years TimFest is going to be a big thing. So that's the plan. Depending on this bike that I get, we're going to see if it's something that I feel I can do 500-600 miles a day riding, because it's going to be all highway getting out there. But if I can do 500 or 600 miles a day on the K1200, I may try to find out when Patrick is riding, or if he's going to ride out, or if he decides to trailer. He may end up buddying up with Roger. Roger has this big enclosed trailer, but so I'm not sure if this year if he's going to take his Ibex or if he's going to take the Goldwing. If Patrick's going to ride out, and he's got a lot more flexibility because Patrick's retired, so he has the ability to go, and he could go for 3-4 weeks, whatever, as much as he wants. I'm sure his wife Lisa's not going to be super happy, but he seems to have that ability to go, because I think she knows that he enjoys that, and that's just like that one big trip a year he does. So so he's gonna do that. If he rides out, I want to see if I can, if I decide to ride, if we can do it in 3 days. I mean, Patrick, he's a freaking iron butt. This guy could ride. Yeah, I mean, he's done the entire trip from home in western North Carolina all the way to South Dakota, and he's done it in 2 days. 1,000 miles, I believe, the first day, and then the 700 miles the second day. So he'll get on there, and he will just knock out 14, 15, 16-hour days. I don't know that I can sit in the saddle that long, but he's got that big gold wing. Again, it's like sitting on your couch, and he obviously stops, but we'll see. If I can convince him, depending on how long he's going, if I can convince him to do it over 3 days, I can probably do 8 to 10 hours of riding each day, and then we can get out there in 3 days. And ultimately, it would definitely be cheaper if I rode out. It would be more abusive on my body, and it would actually add, you know, several thousands of miles to the bike, and it would kind of force me to ride longer and harder each day because I would be on a tight schedule. So I don't know. We'll have to decide, and we'll definitely figure it out. And, you know, we got time from now till September. So I think I'm going to stop in here at the Pisgah Country Store. Just one last visit here with Stella, and then get possibly get a drink. Oh, that's a handicap. I'm just going to kind of pull it over here. All right, folks. Give me a few minutes and I'll be back. Well, that's certainly an appropriate song on my last ride with the bike. But no, I definitely will not forget about this bike. This was a great bike. Very comfortable. Everything I needed. I lower the windshield to get a better view out of the camera. But in the same respect, or at the same time, you get more wind noise. So it's a struggle, forever a struggle. So Pisgah Inn over here looks like it's starting to fill in. This is one of the best views. So I've got the 360 camera turned sideways, so you're not going to get a lot of footage of, you know, in front of me or behind me, but this is what I wanted to capture today. This beautiful scenery right here. Again, one of my favorite. Once we round this corner, maybe I'll pull through this this overlook. Get a great view of Looking Glass. And this one here is called Funnel Top, which is funny because that Funnel Top mountain is where we went when we did when I did the off-road thing. I'll put the title of the video in, and you can see it. But I also took Patrick and George up that road, and it was an off-road thing, but very, very neat. So up over there is Looking Glass Mountain. You see with a rock face on it. And then over here, that would be Funnel Top. So I'm not quite sure if it's this one or the pointy one. I'm going to say the pointy one. That would make more sense of it being a funnel top. But alright, folks. So we will we'll get to it. So right up here, big old fire tower. George and Patrick were telling me that you can climb. You could park here on this trailhead and then climb the trail to the tower, and you can get up into the tower. So it looks like this is what a lot of nice folks are doing. I'm sure either way it's an amazing view up there. One of these days I'll get up there and do it. I'm going to put the windshield up, so cut some of that wind noise, but it means you're going to probably lose your view here. We're slowing down in the tunnel. So this is a 276. One of the halves of the Copperhead. Again, a video I did on this bike, as a matter of fact. So it'd be good to ride this one last time. Still may be a little windy. The one, I've got my visor up because if we're going a little bit slower and that sun's baking on me here, I hate when my face feels hot. And number two, we're stuck behind some cars here, so I can't really do much more than, well, we are doing 35 it looks like, so can't complain too much. I anticipate this young man on the Harley in front of me is going to get impatient and pass them at some point. Came over here once for a car accident. Person was driving their car down this hill, probably going a little too fast, not paying attention, and they ended up hitting one of those embankments in front of us here, the one back there, and rolled the vehicle right over. So it doesn't matter what you're on, bike, car. Look at that, I called that on a corner too. And I tell you, it's shit like that that keeps me employed as a paramedic, just doing stupid things or making stupid decisions. This road here on the left there, that's where we went. That's what goes to that Funnel Mountain Road, and we took that one. Again, that was when I first got the 360 camera. I did some footage of me riding up there, playing around with the different angles and stuff, but that's a great road, and it looks like the gate's still open. Apparently that is the other end of Yellow Gap Road. Now Yellow Gap, it's closed in the middle, but Yellow Gap will go all the way from Mills River, where I live, at the Mills River recreation area, and then it will go all the way here. So fantastic. It's all gravel, all back road, you know, in the middle of the woods, or you're off pavement, cutting through the woods. And obviously it would take you 3 times as long to get to Mills River as it would to just jump down on 280 or whatever, but that's not the point. The point is you're riding in these beautiful woods of Pisgah, and you can spend the day just making your way back. Up to the right here is also where we've done some off-road Pisgah, or off-pavement Pisgah. That will cut all the way back down, and it connects to Fish Hatchery Road, which, if the bridge on Fish Hatchery Road was open, you could continue to the right, and when you get to the end you could take a right, and then that would take you all the way to Balsam Grove and connect you with 215, which is the other half of this Copperhead. So, but this is all, like I said, this is all part of Copperhead here. This is the 276. When I filmed Copperhead Loop, I started in Brevard and came this way. So this is nice. This is giving you a perspective of heading south. So I would imagine the next video you see with me on pavement will be on the new K1200, the LT. If you see another video with me on Stella, the deal fell through. So far it sounds good. The gentleman's got some medical testing this weekend. Hopefully everything goes well for him. and nothing changes his mind. Right now, as it sits, we are scheduled, or we anticipate meeting Monday or Tuesday. Today's Saturday, so Monday or Tuesday we will head over to. I'll head towards him. He lives. To my understanding, though, he said that he was going to trailer down and maybe meet me halfway, which would be fantastic. You know, if I thought it was easier, if I thought you could just swap plates, I would literally ride Stella all the way up there, take my time, take the back roads, ride up there, make a day of it, meet with him, get his bike and his title and signed over to me, and give him the title to this, and slap my plate on the back of his and ride it home. Alright folks, so I'm back. We'll start heading back home now. I stopped and had a coffee with the folks at work. And then I'll go meet with Ryan now. And we'll go have grab a lunch or something. It's a little bit later. It's after 2 now, but put this windshield back up too. So again, just to recap. So to recap, looking to get the 2000 K1200 LT. That's the large touring BMW. I mean, I've had good luck with this one. This is a great bike, and looking for more comfort and longer days in the saddle. That's the goal ultimately. Thank you everybody for sticking around and watching me ride Stella, my 2000 BMW R1100 RT, for the last time. So check back in again real soon as I reveal my new BMW K1200 LT, and hope to share many adventures on that bike as I have with my others. Until then, take care, be safe, and I will see you out there in America on 2 wheels.